everyone. Today we're going to be making mosaics. A mosaic is a picture or a pattern made by putting small pieces of things together like stone, glass, tile, those kind of things together. But today we're going to do it with a little bit of a twist. We're going to do some fun recycled objects like bottle caps, cardboard, paper, maybe some pebbles we found outside or some sticks. Kind of like recycled materials so we can help out the earth a little bit. And that'll have to go in with our project too. So our lesson's called Fragmented Fauna. I want you to think about what that could mean about what we're doing. I mean, we already know about the fragmented part with the mosaics, but what about fauna? What do you think that could mean? Well, fauna means like animals in a certain area. It's kind of like a little classification for them. So we're going to be making mosaics of animals, but they're going to be of animals that live in Texas who happen to be endangered. So what are endangered animals? Endangered animals are ones that might disappear forever because their populations are so low and there aren't many left of them. But it doesn't have to happen. We can do things by learning about them or raising awareness and recycling and things like that to help out them out. So I have a couple examples. I have a horned-toed lizard. I have an ocelot right behind me. And then I also have a little ferret and a little prairie dog also to my other side. For little fun facts about the ferrets and prairie dogs, the ferrets rely on prairie dogs for survival, and prairie dogs, their species are going down in size, but they still live in giant groups called towns that can be up to 25,000 square miles, which is so much bigger than Austin or San Antonio put together. So what is a mosaic? Mosaic is just arranging those small pieces together to create pictures or patterns. Artists use different materials to give their mosaics colors, shapes, kind of textures. So I really want you to think about the different materials we're going to use and how you can use those to show different textures in your object to just kind of describe the animal you're going to be doing. So some examples we're going to look at. This one is by Sonia King. She kind of used like glass or tile, kind of smooth objects. However, on this close-up, you can kind of see the different textures she uses by using different materials. Like some are more smooth, some are kind of iridescent and kind of rough looking. This one is kind of pebbly, and so kind of imagine how that would kind of feel when you run your hand over it. Or this one's kind of like frilly, but it's still like rough kind of looking. And then this one by Elaine Goodwin kind of gives kind of like a sunset feeling, even though it's called Afterglow. You can kind of see these three little diamonds in the circle, and it goes from kind of cooler tones to warmer tones, and they kind of change from being kind of iridescent and sparkly to kind of matte, back to sparkly, and so on and so forth going up. So again, really think about how you can use those materials to your advantage to kind of give the look you want to give. And then this artist, Andrea Taylor, did make one of a baby deer, and she didn't even cover all of it with the kind of material she was using. She kind of left some of that background still open. So you can really play around with it, and you don't have to cover your entire page with your materials. But you can also look about how she used the different materials and how the cut shapes to make the different spots and the different colors and the ears and the shapes of the leaves. So now we're about to get started, but I would like to show you kind of an example of how we're going to do this beforehand. So I think I want to make the horned lizard because I really like the texture and the rough shapes and the spikiness of it. But I think I just want to use cardboard, and maybe I'll add a little button for some color for its eyes. So to start, we're going to use our glue, and we're going to put a little light layer on, and we're going to use the side of the glue bottle to kind of spread it around our page where we want to set it down, just so we don't have too much glue in any one spot. So we're going to kind of grab our shapes. You can kind of look around. Maybe if you have the lizard like I do, you want some that are more triangular and kind of more spiky looking to kind of give off that spiked effect. So we're going to start just placing these around, trying to get the look we want to give. We don't want to overlayer these, but we do just kind of want to put them on their sides, kind of next to each other, leaving a little bit of gaps in between. So we're just going to keep layering those until we have a nice little body shape maybe. And then you can also add your legs or anything you want like that. So with the spiky shapes that I chose, you can kind of start to see the rough spiky texture that I've been adding. And then I can add my legs, the tail, even the little eye or anything like that if I really wanted to. So I think I want to add the eye first so I can build the head around it. Which might be a good idea if you have some like smaller shapes that you want to include in certain spots so you don't have to overlap anything. So just a little dab will do, and then you can build around it still. So just add a little bit more glue, continue building, and then you can keep going until you have your full animal. Luckily, I have a full animal. This one is a little bit more rounded because I kind of wanted to have not as sharp of this feel around it. So you can kind of really see the difference between the two. However, you can really do whatever you want to really show off the kind of textures of your animal. Maybe you chose the ferret and has that long slinky body. Or maybe you chose the prairie dog and it has that big fluffy coat. What kind of textures could you get with that, with your different materials that we have around the classroom and what you can find? You're going to continue to build your surrounding and the environment around it. Think about how the colors and textures of the animal might help it blend into the environment to help it survive. And really just think about the different animal and the different textures and shapes shown that you can really emphasize in your artwork. All right, it's about to be your turn, so you can go ahead and do stuff, get creative, have fun, and express yourself. Bye-bye.